Hello. Okay. I'm waiting for Sharon to come, and I sent her another invite. I'm going to go through that now. I'm sorry for the delay. Okay, let's see how that goes. Just take it. I I'm going to go along with it in a second. I'm still trying to get Sharon up here. At first, I didn't know what was going on there. And obviously, what is happening is that I know we're running late. We had some difficulties at the beginning. This is Greg. Excuse me. This is Shadow Hour for Friday, 8/20. Pretty hard to believe that they could get this screwed up. There's some technical difficulties that happened pertaining to our friend Jason Snyder from down south, and he had an emergency investigation tonight, so that's where he's at. And I'm trying to get Sharon on because we were running late and we were trying to come up with some other way of handling this. So Sharon Moritz from Shadow Hunters Paranormal is coming on one way or the other. And with a little grace, maybe we can get this squared away. Sharon is the medium, one of the mediums in our group. And on Tuesday nights, she has a tarot card show. And what we like to do is fill in the time and make it sort of worth your while compared to what would have been with the guest. And once again, I apologize. I've been going weeks ahead now, scheduling people and trying to get this thing in order. And sometimes it's a little difficulty. It's not letting Sharon come in. I'm thinking maybe there's some way. Let's see what we can do more. Kelly was working on this a little bit, and tonight trying to say, Dan Botts is on, and there's a couple other people that are on that are watching this, and I don't know if I'm not going to be able to get her up. I'll just keep on running the way it is, and hopefully we can. I had just trying to get this thing going the right way. But there's some things that we could go ahead and talk about right off the bat and give her an opportunity to get through. I know there's a lot of investigations that are going on down south right now, basically in southern Illinois, and a lot of the people from around the area are doing a lot of looking and telling, and it seems that one of the things that we could mention is we can mention a couple books. We can mention some of the reading material that's around right now for if you go to a couple of the websites, like I had mentioned last week, that Paranormal Warehouse is a great way to go ahead and cover all the fields of paranormal and some of the investigative techniques and on the experimental end always went back to what we had talked about a couple weeks ago, and that dealt with SB7s, it dealt with portals, advanced techniques on Estes method, double Estes, where you're using two people for conduit, like I had mentioned. Things of that nature that come into play can really make the difference. I've been doing a little bit of research as far as this. There's this website. I'm going to try to find it real fast. One of the people I asked to possibly come on tonight was Tobias Whalen from Boarding Society supporters, and him and his wife Emily, which I got right tonight, are great people, and I'm a member of their group. And there's a app that's out now that's called the Navig something. Let me see if I can put it in. It's not working. So let me put. I have to try this a little differently if you bear with me. What I'm trying to do is I'm going to go to one of the Patreon pages. And see, right now we are live. And there's quite a few things that are going on his page. There's quite a few. The latest report from the Void describes a flying monstrosity reported seen near Chesterton, Indiana. And the Pentagon has a task force dedicated to studying UFOs. Instead of writing this all down and trying to compare that with what was going on, I thought it was easier to go ahead and figure this one out. If anybody's out there that knows the application that I'm talking about, it's a Navigate, and it's random. Is it that? I think it might be that. Let's see. I know this is taking a long time, and I apologize, but okay, I've got it. And this is something you can Google search. My God, thank God, huh, Sharon?
Yes.
Okay, let me just finish this one little thing here that I was talking about, and then I'm going to welcome you onto the show. The name of the application is Randonautica, and it deals with it says the Randonautica app puts the user in the director's chair of an adventure story yet to be written. By using the app, the user can break from their mundane day-to-day and take a journey of randomness into the world around them. Your mind is the guide as you observe and view the world differently. That's what I was talking about, and I finally found it. Sharon, I've been spinning my wheels since we started tonight, and I apologize to everybody. But okay, this is the Shadow Hour. My guest tonight is a very special lady who's the medium for Shadow Hunters Paranormal, along with Scotty Rourke, and her name is Sharon Ritz, and she's an awesome lady. Excuse me, I didn't mean awful.
I'm awful.
Awesome lady, and she reads oracle cards on Tuesday nights on the Shadow Hour on the same page, and it's amazing that we're both together like this. Somebody was working a miracle. How did you finally get on? Well, we could talk about that later. Let's go and get in a little bit about you. So, you've been with Shadow Hunters for how long now? If you could
I don't know, a couple of years.
couple of years.
3,
And
4 years, I don't know.
You want to give us a little background of what you've been involved with through your life that has led you in this direction and that kind of thing?
Oh, just a lot of paranormal stuff. I've had ghosts alongside me in every home I lived in, all through my life. And I've had a lot of abilities, but never really knew what to do with them. And then, just learning here and there, reading books and, talking to people and you're learning things. And then when I met Scotty, I really learned a lot, and I've taken classes with him. And so here I am.
That's awesome. The particular cards that you use on Tuesday nights, do you use the same deck every week?
Yes, I do.
You do?
I changed one time. I did different cards, and I have other cards that I think I'm going to start using too. But I really like the angel cards. Those are the ones that I think they hit the nose on the head with everybody. And I really, really like them. I took a class on angels and reading the oracle cards, the angel oracle cards, and I'm officially an angel intuitive. So that's why I like to read the angel cards and get people to learn about the angels and how they're there to help us. But we have to ask for the help. They're not just going to jump in there and do it. We have to ask them.
Well, one thing that comes up, and this is because everybody has an idea that I help you keep track of a lot of the names when you get overwhelmed with people that would like a card during your show, and the comments that are left in the column are really amazing because everybody leaves happy, I would say, or you hit it nail right on the head. And that's something that I think shows a lot as far as your preparation and your work and you dealing with people and helping people. And I think that's what this is all about, is us all getting together and helping.
Right.
In a professional manner and trying to carry on some sort of tradition for Shadow Hunters that we have definitely needed to establish, on this road, wherever it's taken us.
Mm-hmm.
And I know you have done just a tremendous job. We've been on how many investigations together?
Yeah, quite a few.
Quite a few now. And you've always come up, you always had that one little thing, there's a guy behind me or there's a guy over here. And, so, I always said, and I always felt, no matter what group I was with, that if I would have anything to say as how the group was run, it would definitely be with people that were my eyes. I didn't want to go into any situation, no matter what they had to say about the location, without having a medium there to go ahead and help. And that
Right.
sort of sets the pace for the evening, is how you go ahead and handle the situation if you can go ahead and see this kind of stuff,
Hmm.
the apparitions, whatever it happens to be. And
Right.
it makes a big difference. Even the feeling of the heaviness of the rooms and what you think has gone on in there before. And the first things that come up to you in your head. Now, when you do something like that, say for instance, somebody sent you on one of those little deals like what I had down in old South Pittsburgh, where there were a series of 10 rooms and it was locked off there for almost a half a year. They were sort of revamping them a little bit, and they took us in one at a time, and we had to go in and see what we thought. If you could let everybody know how you would handle a situation like that, and what were the first key things that you would be thinking about when you went into it?
Um, well, I would just let them know how I feel about the room, and if I felt there was any spirits there, um, then I would let them know, what this spirit is doing, if it's, because sometimes they want to glom on top of you. And, I just let them know, be careful of this. And this is what's happening.
You see, you're the eyes, so that's why I said that. It comes down to the nitty gritty, and having a bunch of people, different instrumentation, and everybody's got a job to do. And when you guys go in and go through the building, it seems that your walkthrough is of vital importance for us before we start our investigation.
Yeah, because I could
And I,
feel if there's something there.
and I know that when we went into Pollock Hospital, what happened there when we started off? What did Scotty say?
Well, Scotty didn't want to know anything at all. He wanted to just figure it out himself, which he did. He was able to figure out that it was a tuberculosis hospital because he couldn't breathe, and I couldn't breathe either. When we were in that one room, either one of us, both of us, were having trouble breathing, and our chest hurt. It was like somebody standing on our chests, and he just figured that that's probably what it was, tuberculosis sanitarium, and that's what it turned out to be. And then when we were discussing this, and then all of a sudden it went away. But we could feel that between the two of us, there was someone between the two of us. I think that's why we were feeling this person's energy and the pain they were in, and the breathing that they couldn't do. That's what we were feeling. And then so this spirit ghost left the room. So then we were okay. We were able to breathe normal like everybody else was. But yeah, it was it was like somebody standing on your chest and you can't breathe. It's hard to breathe, and like you're in a stuffy place. And then it went away because that spirit went away. And that's what Scotty said too. They just left the room.
Out of all the different investigations that you've been on, do you have a favorite?
Um, I guess you might say the Terminus is pretty much my favorite, because definitely a lot of stuff goes on there, and I've seen stuff and felt stuff, and we took pictures, and they just saw this man just walking in the lobby. I said, look, there's somebody there. There's just a regular man walking past, and nobody was hearing me. And I'm like, but look, and nobody was paying attention. And then I told them later, and they're like, oh my God, why didn't you tell us? And I said, I did tell you. But yeah, that place is loaded.
When we late that night, we went ahead and decided we'd take a snooze before we left. So we all laid down in the corridor or the hall, one of the hallways. And after about 10 minutes of trying to sleep on the concrete, it was like, well, why don't we go into the stage? And we all got up and went there. And when we finally fell asleep, what happened?
Oh, somebody walked in. I thought it was James, the owner, walked up to us and then just walked away, went out through that curtain area. And then a little while later, from the other side of the stage, from the back room, somebody came walking through there and went out the doorway. And we found out that James wasn't even there. He was gone. It was, I don't know what it was. I didn't see anything, but I wasn't actually looking. I was just hearing this, hearing the footsteps, walking here and walking there. And I didn't really look.
Go ahead.
But it was definitely somebody there.
Yeah.
Not human.
When Nicholas had that camera rolling and it shows that shadow go ahead and come over the top by the chair and sort of went over the top of my head. Remember that? You've seen that video, haven't you?
No, I don't think so.
It's like it was, and you were below me. So you were, over quite a bit, probably about 4 or 5 feet away. But it came around and it went off that big chair and came down over by me and went over the top of my head, and then went over you, I believe, and then went down off the stage.
No, I didn't see that video.
He's got it. Nicholas has got it.
Yeah.
And he has it for part of that investigation.
Yeah.
Film that he did for the page.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's really cool that these things that we're experiencing are amazing, some of them. And when you have the right attitude and you treat them with respect, and they're people that have just passed. And as long as you respect them in that direction, in that way, that I think they'll respond if you go back. But, you've heard my theories before about how many times I want to go back to a spot. So, and it gets a little crazy. Well, getting off the point of investigations, you want to tell everybody a little bit about your group, Psychics United?
Oh, yeah, we have a group. It's called Psychics United, and it's for people who have abilities that need to speak to people and learn and discuss it. Because you just can't discuss what's happening to anybody, because a lot of people think you're crazy. A lot of people don't even want to listen. They're like, this one's nuts, don't even listen to her. But it's a bunch of people that get together that have the same abilities, and they're the people that you can talk to, people you can trust, people you can learn from. So Scotty and his wife started this group in Madison, Wisconsin, called Psychics Unite, and it's spreading all over the United States, the groups. And it's growing very fast. And I have a group here in Antioch. Right now we're not getting together because of the COVID. We're just doing Zoom meetings on Monday night. So if anybody's interested or want to get involved with this, just go to Facebook, Psychics Unite. And then you can learn more about it. And then You can join the meetings on Monday nights. It's every Monday night at 6:30 to about 8:30. But it's a great group. You know, you learn things and you get to know people that have the same abilities that you have, and you can discuss things with everybody, like what's happening with you, and everybody's there to help everybody. It's a great group.
Yeah, it's really awesome. It's awesome that there are those people around that have that kind of connection.
Mm-hmm.
Because as we all know from our generation, it was like they were get ready to tie you to a tree and set you on fire
Right, right,
because you can't do that. It's just
right.
you're some sort of freak.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and in the 60s, I think it was in the 60s or early 70s, I'm not sure when, but James Van Praagh kind of like brought it to the open because he was able to get a show. You know, he went to like a producer or somebody, and he told her, you know, stuff about some people family that she had passed away. And so then she believed him. So then I think it was a Phil Donahue show. I can't remember what show, but then they had him on there as a guest. And then, you know, people's eyes started to open as, hey, this is really happening. Then they gave him his own show. And he had a show for a while. And then he started writing books, and the public just started to realize, hey, this is really happening. And it's a real thing. And this is happening to me, you know. So then they started, you know, like then John Edwards had a show. And it just started coming out in the open. So then from then it just started spreading. You know, we started having these shows on TV, like what was that one, that one show, The Medium.
Okay.
You know, and that was all true. That was all
Yeah.
true. She was a true medium, and all her stories. And then what was that other one? James Van Praagh is like one of the producers of that show. Oh, what was the name of it?
Oh, you got the
With that
one,
dark.
the Dead Files.
No, this was before. This was just like a regular series on TV where she was a medium and she was always talking to ghosts and helping them to go cross over. And, you know, she ran an antique store.
I don't know.
Jennifer Love Hewitt. She was the star of the show.
Okay,
But
so
anyway, then, huh?
she's that Hollywood actress, right? That used to do scary movies.
No, no,
No.
she started out, I think it was a show called Party of Five. She was one of the sisters. And then she got this show um, about a medium, and I can't think of what the name of the show was, but it's still on reruns and stuff, you know. And then, you know, it's just bringing all of this out into the open, and more people, you know, you're finding more and more and more people that have abilities, and they're opening up about it now because it's just being brought out into the public, where before, you know, you were ashamed, you were goofy, put her in a nut house, you know. She thinks she's seeing things, and she really is seeing things, you know. But they think that you know, you got to put her in shock therapy. But so it's evolving, and it's the paranormal world is growing by leaps and bounds because there's so many people that have all these abilities.
I know for instance, when we do Ursula's event up in Wisconsin, in October, there's going to be quite a few there, I believe. And there's quite a few ladies that, or guys that I'll be around, like Scotty. Scotty, I don't know if he's going to make it or not, but Scotty is a sensational guy, and he commands an audience. Would be the only way to put it, and that's what makes it really neat. Now, when you look at the area that we have, and you look at an area like Indiana, there seems to be a pretty strong ratio of psychics to actual paranormal investigators. And like some of them, like myself, the only way, I was told that it seems like I had some ability as far as feeling out a house or feeling out rooms like that too. And it's sort of something that stuck with me, and I started to pay attention closer to on the investigations if I was picking up other things at the same time. I'm nowhere close, I'm still in the infantile stages, but it's great to know once again that there's avenues available now.
Mhm.
And that's what makes the difference. You've got five really good people in your group right now. I think
Mhm.
they all have sort of slightly different abilities, but they're on the money. I mean, you are, without a doubt,
Mhm.
and that's what makes it really neat. I don't. What do you remember? What time you came on?
No.
No, I think we'll go like 10 minutes longer, just
Okay.
because we've it's going to be 9 o'clock right now. So
Do we have anybody out there that has any questions or comments?
uh, I haven't even looked at the chat. I know Kelly was on there earlier. Let's see if she's still on there. It says here, Brenda says it's her first time here. Could you tell her a little bit about yourself? Could you tell Brenda a little bit about yourself? Sure.
Brenda? What's Brenda's last name?
It doesn't say.
Oh, it doesn't, just says Brenda.
Well, this is because Kelly was taking it off the live. I don't have anything up here right now.
No. Well, on Tuesdays, I read Angel Oracle cards. You can always tune in on Tuesdays and I'll read your card. Just all you have to do is ask. And let's see, what else? I'm a paranormal investigator with Shadow Hunters. And I just went to my granddaughter's wedding last Saturday. It was wonderful. She was a beautiful bride, the most beautiful bride in the world, of course. And let's see what else. I have 2 daughters, 5 grandchildren, a dog, 2 cats. I'm an empath. And I love reading the cards because it's helping people, and I really like helping people.
That's the amazing part. I think
Mm-hmm.
that you're really, really good at that.
Yeah.
And it's a pleasure to know you, that to say the least.
Yeah. So just tune in on Tuesdays, 6 o'clock. Usually for about
Tuesday.
6
We
o'clock.
we
Usually for
have
about an hour. And then unless there's more people and that want cards read, then I just keep going till I get everybody. And I get everybody that wants a card. I don't just pick 1 or 2, and I read for everybody.
Well, I'm sorry I left you hanging there for a while tonight. It was the way it was going with the for some reason it was just like the week where nobody could get on, and it wasn't allowing me to go back in. And you had the address from the first one, and then I had already shut the first one down and went to the second one,
Mm-hmm.
thinking ahead. And that's when you said it wouldn't let you in again.
Right.
And then all of a sudden, bingo, you're there. And it's another one of those miracles,
Yeah.
to say the least.
Yeah.
Well, so next week, and I know you did quite a bit of work with the spirit boxes and the Estes method. And I know how you felt about it. But if you were to go ahead and describe that to somebody of what we were trying to do or what we were trying to pick up, how would you tell it?
I don't know how I would explain it. It just you know, it's radio waves, and you try to pick out what they're saying. If somebody's saying, you know, there's, I don't know, it's too hard to explain,
Right.
because you hear radio stuff, and then you gotta pick out if there's any spirits in there, you know. And I'm not crazy about it.
I know. But the reason I brought that up is because that Jeff Riesman is going to be on the show next week.
Yeah.
And he is a spirit box guy. You know, he's
Yeah.
been doing spirit boxes from way back. So it's interesting in that point to share and learn some parts of things that maybe we only had pieces in our own mind about how it was operating or we were doing it.
Mm-hmm.
And it's a totally different, you know, like the parts that I told you about what he said about his spirit box,
Yeah.
that it was like his telephone, you know,
Yeah.
it's nobody else's telephone but his.
Right.
And, you know, he said, well, then we would go ahead and say, well, you know, buy another one and let the people in the group share it, because Nicholas's was down. So,
Mm-hmm.
but he's going to be a very, very unique person to interview. And
Yeah.
I know he's another one of these guys that has an amazing amount of years behind him
Yeah.
in spirit communication, period. So it's great to hear about him and his thoughts of how things go and operate, and things that he's been doing with experimental applications as far as getting through to them. So that's the neat part.
Mm-hmm.
And to sort of sum the show up, we sort of, anybody that would want to go ahead and put $1 in or anything like that, be sure to do it to Lost Limbs Foundation, because that's the group that or the foundation charity that I'm sharing with. And that's Mike Couch from the Rhodes Hotel. And he's the founder of Lost Limbs. And I talked to him, and Nicholas is supposed to come up with something for the page that shows that. And I think it's there already, but I can't remember for sure. It's 9:06. You want
Time to go to bed. Time to go to bed.
Okay. Thank you very much, Sharon. It's a
You're very welcome.
great honor to have you on. And I'm sorry we got Jimmy Jag like that in the beginning of the show.
Yeah.
And everybody tune in later on. If you haven't caught this show, be sure to go to the Shadow Hunters page and look it up and go through it and see, because there was some good material on it compared to the very beginning when I was sweating a lot.
Yeah.
So everybody, good night. Sharon, thank you very much.
See you Tuesday.
Okay, we'll see you. Bye-bye. Good night.
Bye.